Stampers, this is Karen Phillip. I'm a Stampin Up Demonstrator, and I'm pleased to show you how to make these cute little coffee makers. And this is the top of them. They open up on top, have a little magnet, and it says, "You're the best part of my day." And this is what they look like. Aren't they just cute? So that's what they look like. And one of these are actually have a card holder on the back, a gift card holder, and it fits perfectly if that's what you'd like to make it as well. So let's get started. These are just so fun. I have them all over the house now. I have given the club members have instructions, and they have the complete layout here with all of the measurements, and on the back of the card are the instructions, step-by-step instructions on how to make it. I will also post this, it's a better version of this, but this with all of the dimensions and how the pieces are supposed to look, and then you'll be able to get a better idea because of the coloring and the darker color. All right, I'll read this one. So, to get started, you will need all the pieces cut out, and here they all are. As I showed you, here's an extra piece that's not included in the instructions because it's a half of this piece, but this is for the gift card holder if you choose to do that. And then we have 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of, it'll be a top and bottom. 2 of these, they are pre-scored. Well, I scored them. There, and then 1 of these for the bottom of the container, which is, it's hard to show on camera here, right here. And these cute little cups, I got them on Amazon, and they're called espresso cups. They're 2.5 inch, 3 ounce, 2.5 ounce. 3 ounces is way too big, and they have the little lids. You could put some raisinets or some of those espresso beans or whatever in them. It's just, they're just so cute. And then we also have this for the lid. And let's see what else. I think that's it. Yep, that's it. It's not as difficult as you would think. Well, it wasn't. It was the first time, but not. I've made so many now already. Okay, so our first step is taking a piece of 4.5 by 3.5. I scored it a 1/2 inch on each side, and we will take our paper snips and cut out the corners. Now on the top and bottom you want to angle it just a little bit on the longer side. So you'll do all 4 sides, just up on the score lines and up to the score line. Oops, this way. Okay. Then we will, you can score those lines up if you'd like, but it's not that critical right now. Okay, we'll set that aside. Then we will take our strips. We have 1 strip that's 1 inch by 6 7/8, and you score at 2, 2 3/4, 4 1/8, and 4 7/8. And the next one is 1 1/4 inch wide. You score it at 2, 2 3/4, 4 1/8, 4 7/8, and one's a top and one's a bottom. As you can see, this is a little bit wider than this one. This is the bottom, that's the top. And then you will turn, after you score it this way, like all of these, then you will turn it and score a 1/2 inch on both sides. We'll do it this way so you don't get confused. So it's a 1/2 inch. So that's what I've done on these. And I didn't score these. Huh. So I will be right back to go score them. So I have scored these now. And you will fold it on the score line, the lengthwise score line, and then you can just crease the others. And so it's going to be that. And then same thing about big and the small. And then we will trim out these little notches. And to do the notches, people got confused for some reason in class, but you can see that here's where the notches would be. You'll just trim this out on the score lines. So that's what we'll do. So to avoid confusion, you'll trim on the 1/2 inch side. You can just trim them up to the score line, each one. And then just cut out a little notch. They don't have to be big notches on each of the. So here's the score line and then your notch. And this is not a very good scissors. Okay. Come on. And you'll do that for both pieces. So there's one, that's the bottom, and then this one's a little wider. So again, this is scored, and you can see there's a, maybe you can see it, one's wider than the other. You want to make sure it's the smaller side, the 1/2 inch side. So again, trim up to the score line, and then trim out your notches. Okay, there we go. Now we will put them onto our back of our coffee maker here. Alright, so what I found, no we don't, we want to put it on these pieces. And these pieces were made by, you need 4, made by using the Countryside dies. The 3rd one down, so it'll be the 3rd one. 1, 2, 3 in, and then cut them so you'll have a piece that'll look like this. And then you will cut off at 2.5 inches. So this is 2.5 inches. Again, the measurements will be on the website. And in order to save paper, you could conceivably cut a strip of 2.5 inches and then put the die on top of it and then run it through, and then you'll save all that extra paper. And that's sort of what I did. Okay. So we'll take one of these pieces, and again you need 4 of them, and the same thing with the designer paper. So this part, it's kind of, it's not difficult, you just have to follow the instructions. So a lot of people have been using a new glue thing. It's a Sweet Petunia glue gun, and it uses Nouveau glue. I found this works much better for me. A lot of my ladies have arthritic hands, and so this works well for them. Also, it doesn't stay sticky, and that's why I like this so well, because it's not, you put it on, you just put it on each of these little grooves here, and if it oozes out, it doesn't make a big mess and it doesn't stick to your hand. So that's what I like, and it's very strong. So now that we have this, I'm pushing it down. I'm setting the top part into the groove of the top one, and just sort of slightly lifting it up and pushing it in, and doing the same on the other side. It's much easier to do it when it's flat, because then you can, it's just easier. Otherwise you're trying to hold it and trying to squeeze it and everything. So I found that's easier. Now I cut these, I didn't cut the paper first. I cut them and then I did it this way. So this one's way off. So I'm just going to trim it a little bit just because I messed up in the first place. And it won't hurt anything. But so if you get one in your kit and it's off, just trim it. Alright, that's the top one. Now we'll do the bottom one. Same thing. We'll take one of our countryside pieces cut out, put our glue on, and you just put the glue on all of the little notches. Set it down. Put I start at the center so I know it's centered. Sort of lift it up a little bit so you can squeeze these under. Push it down. And it just fits right in there. Make sure everything is snug, otherwise it won't lay right when you're finished. And it's all snug. This one's just as crooked. I really messed this one up. Give it a little push to make it in there. Make sure it stays in there. And then trim if necessary. And this one's necessary. Alright. Okay. So this again is the bottom. Now we will take our, so you have the two, see one's a little bit bigger. You will take this piece, and this is the back of the little holder. That's this. Now we will put glue on the top and bottom of, so it's the longer end, and on the shorter sides you want to put some glue on there and just set it on there, the top and bottom, doesn't matter which one you do first, and you just set it on there, and then you set the other side on, and make sure it's dry though before you lift it up. Just give it a moment here. And you go right up to the score line. I don't know if you can see that or not, but you go right up to the score line. So that's how it, oops, should put my tape like that. And then on the back side, that's what it looks like. So you can see all your little pieces that we will be covering up. Okay, then we will lift this up like so and push the two sides in. You want those sides in there. And if you need to do a little trimming, do that now. This one didn't, probably when I trimmed it. Okay. So this has to go in, and this side goes in. And we will take our glue and put a little bit on each corner with holding these flaps down. Like so. This will be hard to show you now, but so I have glue on both corners, probably about a 1/2 inch. And you start with one side, lift it up, make sure this is in on the inside. Lift it up, hold it. I'm holding both sides so the glue can adhere. Make sure it's straight. I had one that really leaned down on me. You just have to hold it a minute, and it's hard to show. There we go. I'm holding it like that. And then you'll, oops, don't want it too far down because then it'll droop. Okay, and then you'll do the other side. Again, push these in a little bit so it stays on the inside. And then do the same thing, just hold them for a minute. I tried some baby clothespins and they just got in the way, so you just have to hold it for a second. Okay. And you want to make sure that it's dry before you move it, otherwise it'll come apart. And any excess glue, you just take that off. And one thing, like I said, I love, it doesn't stay sticky, it just dries clear. Okay, now we will take our remaining two pieces. See how straight they are. I think they're pretty straight. And then this you can use your Tombow glue, just because it spreads faster. But you'll just put some on there. Make sure you don't go too close to the edge so it doesn't ooze out. And then we will set that on there. Again, you have a little wiggle room to make sure it's straight. And then I like to flip it over and just push it down. There we go. Oops. So now this one, I'm going to use that wipe just to get that excess off because it's going to be sticky. And then we do the same thing. Where's my silicone mats here? There we go. Okay. Now we will put the top or bottom, the other side, and just put a little glue. I don't know why this is squishing out so much here. This is why I also like that other thing. You don't have to shake, you don't have to do any of that. It just works. Okay. Now we'll set that on top. Make sure it's on there good. And then, again, set it upside down. Give it a good rub. And that's the basics of that part of the top and bottom, the form of it. So now I will take a piece of the designer paper and just use some regular roller tape, stick that inside, and it just gives it the coffee look. Okay, now we will work on the top part of it. I'll lay it down so you can see. It's just so cute. Alright, so the top part is one of the smaller dies in that set. It's the third one from the center. And I did some stamping here. I used the Hooray for Surprises, and there's a stamp that says open here, and that works perfectly for this, so I already stamped it. It says open here on the bottom. And this piece was scored at 1 3/4, and when you do that, it may have just a tiny piece that's bigger or smaller. The piece that's smaller you want on the bottom so that you can grab it underneath and lift it up. Now we're going to work on the magnets. These magnets are funny. They like attach to everything, and I got these on Amazon, and these are, what are these? 1 millimeter, no, 300 pieces. It says 3 millimeters and it says 1 millimeter magnets. So I think 3 is the width and 1 is the depth. So, and I also had some wider ones, but I like the teensy ones just because, yeah, these are, they stick to everything. And these are, doesn't say, it just says small. So 1 millimeter is the depth, and the, here I'll show you what these are. These are a little bigger. They're like about 1/4 inch. And then these little ones, they're really funny. They're teensy. They're really teensy. I don't know if you can even see it. By comparison, you can see. There we go. So we're going to use the teensy ones. So what I did, I found that worked, is on the top, the inside top, the open here side, you want to glue a little circle, like a 1/2 inch circle or so. Just, you want to glue a piece of cardstock in there. And this was just kind of an experimental thing, just because the magnets didn't want to stay onto the actual cardstock. I don't know why or what, but this is, and again, I used the Nuvo glue because it stayed better than the Tombow glue, especially on the magnet. Make sure it's completely dry. Now we will take our teensy weensy magnet, and this one comes with like a rod, and it's magnetic, just to pull them out of the container, and they'll bounce everywhere. So there's 2 of them on my little stick thing here. I'm going to take one of them, and what I found to get them off, because you can't like put a nail in there and get them. Well, that time I could. But if you just put them between your fingers and slide them, it works pretty good. So what I'm going to do is, see, it's really teensy, is take a tiny, tiny dot of that glue, put it in the center of the circle, and just set it down. And again, I found you can't have, if you have any glue that oozes out, you want to make sure you remove it, because somehow I think it puts a gap or something. I don't know why it was working the way it was. So I'm just not going to touch it now for a minute so it can dry completely. Then I have a 1.5 by 1.25 inch piece of white. I stamped it with "You're the Best Part of My Day," and that is in the Latte Love, an online exclusive. It says "You're the Best Part of My Day," and then some coffee beans, and I colored them with a Stampin' Blend marker, the SU 200. These are the, I think they're the darkest color. There's 100 and 200, the neutral's 200 or something. So we're just going to tape that in on the bottom. Okay, now we will do the magnet attachment. I hope this is on there good, because if it doesn't dry, then you're going to have to put another circle on top, then it'll work. It's really stupid, but again, it's how I found it worked. I need some Pop Dots here. Okay, now we're going to close this, and you can see the open here. Flip it over, take the other magnet, and basically you're just going to here, I don't want to lose this. Well, okay. Then you're going to set it down, and it'll pop right where the magnet needs to go. It'll find the polar thing, and it'll go just where it needs to. So then you can just take some glue. You don't need the dot on this one or the circle. And just put a little dab. That's all you need, and it'll pop right to where it needs to go. It's pretty funny. And then you want to make sure it doesn't have any glue around it. I won't open it quite yet, but I will put my dimensionals on. I'm using 5 so that it stays on, especially because of the magnetic thing. I hope it doesn't come apart on me. Okay, so we're going to take these off. Now I've been touching the glue, and my hands are not sticky at all. That's what I just love it. I don't know. I know it's not Stampin' Up, but it's working well. Let that glue dry a smidge. All right, so now we will lift this up and put it on the top, like so. I won't open it quite yet. I want to make sure that glue is completely dry. And then now we will add we can add the gift card holder on the back. And I have some tear and tape that works well. Otherwise, we're just going to glue it. Okay, so this is like a half a piece of the first piece. So I have the score lines in there, and I just cut a piece in half. And I'm going to cut this on a complete angle, just on the score line, and do the other side, because we don't want it too bulky. Now we will put glue on the outside of this. I think I'm going to trim these down a little bit. They don't need to be so wide. I'm just trimming them down about 3/8 of an inch. There we go. Avoid the bulk. Okay, now I'll put some glue on there. You could use tear and tape. I just don't know where mine is right now. Well, I know where it is, but I can't get it. Okay, so I put it on all three sides. Oh, I forgot to punch it. So you want to take a punch. It could be a circle punch. It could be, I'm using the hexagon punch. And punching it. Yeah, it's going to get all over. And just giving it a little holder. Ooh, left out. So that you have a little notch so you can grab the gift card. So now we're going to put this like so. And on the bottom, push this in. Push them all in actually. And just push it down. And you have to hold it a minute when you glue it. So all of those edges are in, but then it created a gift card holder on the back, which is kind of cool. And then your gift card just slides right in there, like so. Isn't that cool? Okay, so now we'll finish our decorating. Let's see if this worked. So now you'll lift it. Oh, hopefully it didn't. Okay, well anyway, I'll have to re-glue that. So I'll do that right now just to show you what I was kind of talking about, why it works this way or why it doesn't, I don't know. So I'm putting another circle over the top, like so. And then I'm going to put some glue in the center. Maybe I'll put it right on the magnet this time. And there, I would think that maybe even the, what do you call it, the long tip pen would work. That would work too. But it takes a while for that to dry. So I'm just going to leave it alone. And now we will put some gems on there. I'm using the adhesive back sparkle gems. So these come in 3 different colors, the gold, silver, and black. So the black I'm putting on top. You can use large or small, it doesn't matter, just to give it some buttons. So put one there. Oh, good. One there. And I did copy this design from another demonstrator. I don't remember her name, but I will put her name in there on the website. And then, but she didn't have this top part on there. I just thought it needed it because they have to open to put the water in there. And then on the front, I put 3 gems. You can do all the same size. This one I'm going to do a big one in the middle. And if you put them in the middle and then on the sides, it's easier to line up. Okay. And then I took a bow, just again for decoration, no specific reason. I made a bow and we glued that on top this way. And then we have our little gift card holder thing. And so this is how it opens up again. Like so. Has our message. And anybody who's seen these, even non-coffee drinkers, think it's really cool. So I hope you enjoyed watching make this. Again, you can make them in any colors. I did a retro one, and then I did a black one. Black one was my first one. And then I did a cherry cobbler one. So thanks for watching, and have a great day.